Hi, Shaquita Graham here from AtechCoWeb.com. I'm here with Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses of SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. How are you doing, Noma?
I'm doing great, Shaquita. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're going to talk about Judge O.U. Stevens and some people call it the lynching of him due to his stance and the legal stance against all white juries. And his wife, Raymonda, stood up for him. And I just want to bring up the Facebook post that she did, because Judge O.U. Stevens just recently had to have a hearing about this issue. And she talked about the fact that her husband was having a formal hearing. And you can see she has this picture here of this lynching, because I think that he was being heard by a all-white panel himself. And as a result of this hearing, and she says her hashtag says, if you can't fight the message, destroy the messenger. And what she's talking about is this American fascination with all white juries, which has been in play since the 1800s. And this war has been being fought against it in the Supreme Court since that time. And just recently, they threw out the death penalty on a man who was convicted by an all-white jury. So let's do some commentary. I'm going to go into some things, some other things, but I want to hear from you, Noma. What do you think about this and Judge O.U. Stevens' wife's stance, standing behind her man?
The first thing I wanted to point out was, just looking at that post, she actually had the expectation that it was not going to go well. So she was saying, I'm going to need help. So she could kind of predict, and she was right, because what did end up happening was that he has been banned for 90 days, suspended for 90 days without pay. So their family now has to go without pay from their provider. If you want to know what I think, this actually reminds me of, one of my greatest heroes, Nelson Mandela. And he was thrown into jail. I mean, everybody knows the story, for 27 years. But the focus that I want to bring is to Raymonda, his wife.
Right.
And the work that she's doing. And it reminds me of Winnie Mandela when her husband was put away. She got to work, she didn't sit around and feel sorry for herself. She got right to work. All the things that he was doing and trying to effect change in, she took up right where he left off and just did everything that she could to make sure that what he was trying to accomplish was continuing. And I see the same spirit in this woman. She's still saying, look, what he stands for is correct. And he's being persecuted for standing up for justice, basically, as he should be, because he's a judge, but he's being persecuted for this. And I need your help, and I'll do everything that I can to make sure that things go the way that he wanted them to go. So to me, that's just a really admirable woman.
I know, and as Black people, we have a serious battle to fight, and our men are going to be at the forefront of that. And we can see that right now with all of the executions that have been taking place forever against Black men. And we as women are going to have to be that strong support behind them, because it's conflicting. I mean, this man is a judge. He could easily just, do the thing that judges have been doing, Black judges and white judges alike, and promoting mass incarceration. And he just said it's not right, and he stood against it. And now his family is coming under fire for standing up for his greater family, his collective family. And we, on a collective level, I think should be supporting this. And I definitely am. I actually want to share the screen about a couple of things related to this. If I can get it up, hold on. So, Judge O.U. Stevens was right to make this decision. A study, and I believe this was from Duke, it says in cases, in an interview from the Washington Post, the person who was a part of the study said that in cases with no Black members of the jury pool, Black defendants were convicted 81% of the time, most of the time, basically, while white defendants were convicted 66% of the time. It's lower in this case for white people who are on trial. When the jury pool included at least one Black person, the conviction rates were instead nearly identical. So Black people kind of like made it fair in a sense.
Yeah.
71% for Black defendants being convicted and 73% for whites. However, if you believe in white supremacy, that's a problem. You want it to be Black people being convicted more and white people being convicted less. You don't want it to be kind of even. And that's the thing. You know, Judge O.U. Stevens was coming against white supremacy. And that's why I think as a collective, we should be very supportive of what he's doing. So that's why I'm contributing to this campaign. It looks like it's 5 hours old right now. You know, it's a GoFundMe because, you know, when you look at the money that Darren Wilson raised, when you look at the money that George Zimmerman raised, Daniel Pantaleo for killing our men, for killing our children, now you have the Melanoid Nation Foundation raising money for Judge O.U. Stevens, and we should stand behind him. I would love to see him rich off of this. I would love to see him, you know, get hundreds of thousands of dollars. And why shouldn't he? He is a politician that's standing for us for a change. So, you know, I mean, what do you think, Noah?
You know, absolutely. One of the things that we have to think about is the fact that sometimes people really do have convictions. But I think that it's a really, really sad predicament to have where, you know, you stand on your integrity or you feed your family. And a lot of people just choose to feed their families. But what if we started a pattern of supporting the people who support us collectively, which is what I believe this GoFundMe is about. It's about, you know, being willing to jump for the sake of everybody else and knowing that they will all catch you when you fall. That's ultimately what it is, because the thing about it is anybody who wants to do this tough work, because he's putting his whole career, his life on the line, and for what? It's for Black people. So it makes sense that Black people should be the ones who turn around and say, we support you, we have your back. And I'm just so proud of his wife for standing up and really being there, the voice that he can't be, because again, you know, looking at the statement that he made, he was coerced obviously to make the statement. Even just that 90-day suspension was probably less than something worse that could have happened to him. And, you know, he made that statement of, you know, I said this and I said that, and you could tell it was so diplomatic that he was basically trying to save himself from a worse situation. That's the best way I can put it. It seemed that way. So what I'm saying is I really applaud his wife, because where he had to remain silent, she spoke up. And she was also, you know, just very tactful about it, but she got the message across. She said, look, he's going to be in this courtroom. This is how it's going to go down. And in the end, she says, hey, if history is a predictor of the future, I'm really going to need your help. And she was right. She does need help. This man is the provider for that family. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I really feel like, not just a feeling, it's a strong belief and conviction that Black men are called to provide and to protect us. And if somebody does something to them, we're the ones who have to have their back, because if not us, then who?
Exactly. And I think you're right. You know, we know that when you stand up against injustice and you speak truth to power, you know, there's risks, and we need to make it comfortable for people to take those risks, because our unity and our future mean everything. And unfortunately, you do feel conflicted, because, you know, you're like, if I do this, I can really lose. But at the same time, your integrity and your conscience is telling you, I would rather lose everything than sabotage my people. Not many people, not enough people say that, but Judge O.U. Stevens did. Right. And that's why we need to, if we can support Michael Jordan and make him rich, if we can make all of these other people rich and idolize them who won't say a word, won't even say the word black, won't even wear black. You know what I'm saying? So we should be able to support him, and he's right in his stance. And, you know, I mean, there's not that much more to say. I love what this woman has done, standing up behind her husband. And to be honest, if she wasn't that kind of woman, he may have been hesitant to take the stance. Right.
Yeah, that's another thing is you have to feel like when you do these things, you're going to have the support of the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think we could wrap it up there. I'm going to get off of here and get on that GoFundMe page and give some money for my brother.
Same here.
And, I want to thank you, Noma, from successfulblackwoman.com. Again, atechcoweb.com. I'm the founder there. And Noma and I are doing a platform together, which is we're going to really delve into these topics on a long format kind of thing. So it's at marriedwomensbusiness.com. Please register your email there so we can keep you in the know about that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.